Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of week 3 of the ICFL. The Griffins and the Aztecs. We're just getting it underway here.
Griffins field the opening kickoff from the Aztecs, bring it out to about the 15-yard line.
Griffins will take over at the 15.
So we'll finally see some, we'll see some Griffin offense, a little bit more Griffin offense. And, you know, the Griffins now have 2 games under their belt. They've been able to work out a few kinks. They're dealing with some injuries, some player adjustments, but, you know, hopefully the experience will be able to have them move the ball just a little bit better.
What am I doing? First. Ladies and gentlemen, we're shaping up to have an absolutely beautiful day today. Highs in the 60s. It's starting to actually look like spring for once. No rain anywhere in sight. Griffins take the snap, handoff. It'll be up the middle here in a short little run.
You know,
And that'll be a gain of 1 and bring up second down.
I'm actually happy seeing the Griffins running the ball, keeping it on the ground, because the Aztecs do have a very physical secondary, very talented secondary. And I want to see what the Griffins can start commanding the ground game just a little bit before they start putting the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, big tackle for a loss there. So we are going to go back almost to the 11-yard line. We'll have third down at about 16, 17 yards.
That'll be a loss of 5 yards. That'll bring up third down.
You know, if I had to say the things that the Griffins need to do very well is make sure that they don't pin themselves deep in a bad situation. Right here, we've got third down and long. They're at their own 11-yard line. They need to get some yards, give them some breathing room. That way they're not punting out of their own end zone.
Yeah, so big problems that we kept seeing from them in the last weeks, especially it's bad snaps. So it's stuff for the center just snapping super, super high and not giving them much of a chance to be able to get the ball and be able to do anything with that before he is swarmed. So they're going to probably throw it. They tried to get a 5 yards there with the hard count. He's dropping back under pressure, and he will be brought down. That'll be another loss of about 5-6 yards there.
You know, I hate
feeling
like a bad play oracle here, but that's exactly the play that I just didn't want to have happen. So now we're going to have fourth down and a mile, you know, fourth down and 20 plus. The punter's going to be in the back of his own end zone.
Yeah.
They cannot afford a bad snap here. And you want to be able to get any kind of punt that can get you out to at least the 40-yard line, if not more.
Yeah, honestly, that is kind of what I am waiting to see. We have not actually seen the bad snap out past him yet. So we've seen it past the punter, but not into the back of the end zone. So they figure it out when they're in this exact situation right here. But we'll see if they can figure it out here. A lot of it is that what we've seen past is Griffins just need a little bit more team cohesion, a little bit more time together to figure things out. And maybe they've had some time since the last game.
Well, and
the Aztecs obviously a hard competitor here, and we'll keep them on their toes.
You know, we got personnel issues here. Play clock is running down dangerously low. Griffin's trying to get the right personnel on the field.
Good
the
snap.
Bad punt. That's a safety.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of scenarios that I think the Griffins are really going to struggle with when it comes to playing really good teams, is back in your own end zone, bad snaps, blocked kicks, blocked PATs. Those kinds of things are really going to, I mean, if it wasn't going to end up being just a touchdown for touchdown game anyway, these are the situations that are going to put the nails in the coffin.
Yeah. Safety. Oh. Yeah, we fixed it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It just I put both wrong for some reason. Yeah. Yeah.
You end up touching a weirdo. All right. So after the blocked punt for the Griffins, Aztecs are up 2-0 early in the game. Griffins set to kick off. Aztecs set to receive. Decent kick. Barber's going to pick that up, which he does. Easy on the legs, running this back. Picks up speed.
I was like, he's still running, so
yeah,
just keep staying it up. So, where does that put them? Looks like around the 30,
almost a 35-yard line.
Yeah, maybe we're waiting to see.
34-yard line. We're good.
Aztecs will take over on the 34.
So Cole Knigge and the Aztec offense take the field. You know, obviously, I'm assuming that the Aztecs are going to want to. I mean, they're in enemy territory already. This is exactly where they have many options and can run the full scale of their offense. They also have the ability to do anything they want, including first through fourth down here.
Yeah, the Aztecs really been on their game this year. They're wanting that championship. I feel like they think they got robbed last year, and they're coming back with a vengeance. So
Barber with the run, about 7 yards on the carry.
We gain a 7 with the run down the middle, and that'll bring up second down. So yeah, and the main things that we've seen from the Aztecs is just like a destructive offense, really good pass plays where they're getting massive yards, and that's on any team that they've played on. And we're seeing like their defense is just crashing on quarterbacks. So
Knigge and Barber in the backfield. Spread receiver set. Knigge takes a snap, back to pass. Looking right, has a receiver open. Hole with the catch. Out by the 10-yard line. You know, I would argue to say that both defensively and offensively, the Aztecs might be one of the most balanced teams in the league. They've got plenty of offensive weapons. Cole Knigge's very experienced, possibly the most experienced quarterback.
Yeah, he's older than probably some of the other players in this league, and he's been playing longer than they've been alive. So, because I know we got a few 18-year-olds, and I'm pretty sure he's coming up on 17 years of playing. So
he is. Yep, 17th season. I'm pretty sure.
So,
motion by Hole in the backfield. Knigge fakes the jet sweep to Barber. Barber to the left-hand side, tripped up near the 6-yard line. That was a touchdown-saving tackle by the Griffins. Aztecs are second and goal.
Aztecs run for a gain of 6, and they'll bring up 6 down.
Actually, second down and just a couple of yards to go. So they can get another first down here at about the 3-yard line. So even this next run isn't a touchdown. It's likely going to be a first down.
Yeah. And from their track record, they haven't when it's this close. So it doesn't matter. They probably don't even need the first down. So
no. At this point, they'd go second all the way through fourth down. And they're not going to need it. Hole again. Fakes the jet sweep. Barber up the middle. Plenty of room. Easily into the end zone. Touchdown, Aztecs.
Touchdown, Aztecs.
Aztecs with their point after setup here.
Going for the kick by Hull.
The snap, the hold, the kick is no good. Hold to the left. So
there's a flag on the field.
Illegal procedure. That penalty is refused. The result of the side is no good.
So the PAT team, we have a legal procedure. The kick is no good anyway. Penalty is declined. And we are now at 8-0 Aztecs over the Griffins. You know, I imagine that we're likely going to see a similar situation as we saw with the Tide and the Guardians last week.
Yeah.
If the Aztecs kickoff team hasn't been conditioning, they're going to get the conditioning today.
Yeah, for sure. So and we've seen them boot it into the back. So there's nothing that we haven't seen from their kicking team for sure. And I think Griffin's return team might have a lot of practice that they're going to get right about now.
Oh, with the
Boot to the
kick.
back. He's dancing. He kind of stays up for quite a while.
Flag on the play. Let's see what we have here. I'm imagining we've got either a hold or a block in the back on the return team.
Daniel McPherson with the return on that one.
You know, and the 25 to 30 yard line's not a bad return.
Yeah.
Honestly. And the kick from the Aztecs goes to about the 20 yard line. So
during the return, holding, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down, white.
So
holding.
going from the 31 yard line back to the 21 yard line.
For holding. So we just talked about how they just got pretty good field position and they just lost a few yards on that one.
You know, the Griffins are new this year. They're working on their team chemistry. They're working on understanding the mechanics and scenarios, especially game scenarios like this. The Aztecs are a very physical team. They will overpower you physically, but you can't afford to hold, to block in the back, anything that's going to cost you that precious yardage that you're not getting offensively.
Yeah, for sure. All right, taking the snap, throws to the left side here. That'll be incomplete. Complete pass to the outside. That'll bring up second down.
And it looked like if that pass would have been completed, we might have seen a loss. So actually a little bit of luck that it was incomplete.
All right, high snap. Good recovery, but he will be taken down. Collapsed pocket there. That'll be a loss of 4 after the quarterback sack, and that'll bring him third down.
All right, Cedric. I'm gonna throw this out there one more time. I'm not trying to jinx the Griffins here, but this play, all you need to really do is just medium yardage. Pick whatever play you think you can get 5 to 6 yards. If you get lucky, you get more and you get a first down, and that's great. But I don't need you going back in the pocket, looking for a huge yardage pass play, getting sacked, and then having to punt out your own end zone again.
Yeah, so we're seeing, like, they're having the same, like, consistency errors where they're having, like, bad snaps, little things like that. This is when you need, like, a formation change. This is when you need to fire under center, do, like, a quick something or a handoff to the running back. Yeah.
Something. So we'll see here. High snap, back to pass, looking for medium. Come on.
Stays up.
Some medium yardage.
Interception.
Wow. So
Interception.
I actually am okay with the
Aztecs
play
will take
call.
it.
We've got a flag on the field.
There's a flag on the field.
I think we might have a horse collar tackle here on the quarterback. We'll wait and see
Ooh.
what the call is.
Yeah.
The result of the play is an interception by Aztecs. After the play is over, a second-like contact by the offense. After the distance to the goal, first down, Aztecs.
So, whenever they say offense and defense, it gets a little muddy. What they're talking about is before the play, what
Yes.
is the offense and defense.
Yeah, so on the Griffins, after the interception, somebody said or did something. We've got unsportsmanlike conduct, 15-yard penalty, but in this scenario, it's half the distance to the goal. The Aztecs didn't need any more help after the interception, but they got it anyway. Now Carnegie takes the field, short distance to the end zone. Again, another first down opportunity inside the 5.
Yeah, I think the Griffins quarterback today is Austin Williams, if my roster sheet has anything to go off of, and I'm pretty sure he's actually labeled as a running back.
Yeah.
So,
I'll say that.
so maybe he should start just running. And
Yeah.
he has some legs. I've seen him get away and scramble. So,
Niggy and Barber in the backfield.
so it is a very, not to call that as
Previous play, number 27. That is his first, unfortunately.
okay, and that's what they're talking about is number 27, Austin Williams, getting unsportsmanlike.
So here we go. Niggy and his offense on the field. Niggy back to pass, surveys, plenty of time, little bit of pressure.
Not enough pressure. Ooh.
Catch by Hull inside the 5, enough to give him another first down. We will have first and goal from the 1.
That'll be a gain of 12, and that'll give him a first down.
So from the Griffins offensively, I don't mind that last play call. You get outside the pocket, you give yourself some room to throw.
Yep.
I don't mind the distance of the pass. It's short to medium, like we were talking about. You just have to have a sure throw.
Well, the thing
Otherwise,
is,
you get an interception.
they're just not having a lot of time. And so they need to be like adapting just a little bit quicker, even like just a quick slant or something. Like very, very much they're like on thin time. So they need to figure it out. But not to call the Aztecs basics, they really have a few key players that they go to often. And they just consistently keep hitting those players, and they consistently result. Ooh, interception
by the Griffins. Stay in the end zone, my guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So game
Interception, the
situations.
Griffins will take over him.
So
beautiful call by the Griffins there. So a little bit of play action, and he tried to get the throw and just wasn't there. Intercepted. But they just they have a lot of like very, very basic players that they hit, and they just consistently hit them up the field. We see them do like a play action play like that, where they're not doing something that they would normally do, and it ends up in an interception.
and it's hard on a play like that because I saw Colt watching his receiver the entire time. The outside linebacker for the Griffins is watching Colt watch that receiver the entire time. It's unfortunate for the Aztecs, but what is fortunate for the Aztecs is that player decides to bring the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Stays in the end zone. It's to the 20. He brings it out of the end zone, and now they're at the 5, which is exactly where they don't want to be.
Yeah, and especially like I understand wanting to see there's the flag on the play, flag on the field.
And now we've got a false start.
False start. Offense. After distance, go first down.
And this is one of those scenarios where because you're so close to the end zone, it's not going to sting as much because it's only half the distance, 2.5 yards.
Yeah, but
2.5 yards to the end zone
knowing
still
the
sucks.
rules though, like I understand wanting to take it out, air it out, get a pick six, do something great.
Yeah.
But you are in the end zone when you have that interception. Just drop.
Yeah, just go down.
And just know, and that's free 20 yards. So it's just situational awareness, little things like that.
And this is where you have another safety. So, safety for the Aztecs.
Safety for the Aztecs. That is the second safety. We're still in the first quarter.
So, this is like you just talked about. This is where it comes down to game situation, right? You get an interception in the end zone. You go down. You come out to the 20-yard line. You have 20 yards worth of lost yardage plays that you can deal with where you can still punt on 4th down and not have a safety.
Yeah.
You get a kickoff, comes out to the 30-yard line. You have a hold on that play. That takes you 10 yards back.
Yeah.
And then you end up throwing an interception. After the interception, you have an unsportsmanlike conduct. That takes you half the distance to the goal.
It's
Every single drive, we've had these mental mistakes from the Griffins that they need to
we're
clear
seeing
up.
the Griffins go back on more drives than they're going forward. And so, especially as a player, if you know what's going on, like you know when you're not doing good, when your team's not doing good, we don't need to explain that to you.
No.
So you know that you need to give your team as much extra. That's where being like a team player and trying not to run it all the way down the field, especially when you have them in your face. It's knowing for situations like that.
Kickoff fielded, pitched back to Barber, across the 50-yard line to the 45, the 40, the 35, all the way down to the 30-yard line where he will be tackled.
Aztecs will take over at the 30. So,
I think he actually may have even gotten it all the way down to the 25-yard line.
So I like also I like that pitch back to Barber, who will do better than you. So especially if you're one of the front guys, you're not that you could get 3 yards forward, or you could give it to someone who's obviously used to running into traffic and let them deal with it.
And the great thing about Barber, we'll see this on the next kickoff if you haven't noticed it already, he takes his time. He waits for his blockers to catch up. He takes his time. He waits until a path opens up, and then he turns the wheels on, which I really like the patience.
Yeah.
Knigge and Barber in the backfield as usual. Receivers twins to the left.
Griffins getting player off the field. Motion.
Pitch to Barber to the right-hand side. Turn the wheels on. He is through the 20-yard line. Hurdles over inside the 15. Down to about the 12.
Pretends he's a ballerina. Gets 15 yards. They'll give him a first down.
They're just a little bit shorter than I expected. Down to the 15-yard line. First down and 10.
Yeah,
this is
very interesting. I see him jump over and try to make that play. I would be so worried as if one of my number one running backs is jumping over another person and gets grabbed like that and gets hurt.
Yep.
I get scared when I'm seeing
Be an
players
athlete,
doing
don't get
that.
injured, though.
Yeah.
Got trips to the left. Run up the middle to Barber. Plenty of room, plenty of space. Can he make it all the way there?
Nope,
just
I
shy.
think he'll be just shy.
But as usual, as with the first two drives, the Aztecs have a first down inside the 5. It will be first and goal from the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
All right. So the last first and goal from the 1, Knigge threw an interception, which is unlike him.
Yeah.
We'll see what they decide to do here, if they want to give Colt the opportunity to pass again, or if we see another run. If I'm the Aztecs, just to keep points on the board, I'm choosing run here.
Yeah, I think they will run it. They've ran it with Barber the last 2 plays. I don't see them actually changing that.
Hard count from Knigge, and the run, and the touchdown. Easy in.
Touchdown
for Barber.
On Aztecs. So, not to say that we predicted it or anything, but.
All right. So here's the deal. This is what I want to see from the Griffins. Give me a clean 4 plays, including this kick return right here. No penalties, no holding, no block in the back, no unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Show me what you guys can accomplish without penalties.
Yeah. And if I'm the Griffins, I just wanted to be doing very basic stuff, not trying to do anything like that. Even just if you have to hand it to your running back every single play and have him run it up the middle, you need to do something, though, to get on the board. So,
kick is good for the Aztecs.
Good.
Aztecs now lead 17-0 over the Griffins.
Yeah, hold the kicker there. So the do-it-all man himself. So, or he'll be the kick, a receiver, a backup QB. Which, depending on how this game goes, we may see him out there later today. All right, pick up by number 27, Williams there. So we'll put the Griffins at the 11 after the kick.
Okay, here we go, Griffins. No penalties, clean football. Focus on the fundamentals here. That's what we need.
$17-0. 2 minutes, 37 seconds left in this first quarter here. Drops back, throws. Ooh, incomplete.
Baby. I like the play call.
Incomplete pass.
I like the route.
Yeah, I do like that. So incomplete pass there to Egan Vincent.
Just a little more, and the Griffins would have had a great game.
Yeah. Honestly, good play. You just saw a weakness in the Aztecs line there that you could capitalize on. Maybe not do it this exact second, but might be able to get you a free 10 yards here in the future. So
well, and I like how the Griffins are understanding that in the pocket you've got about 3 seconds, maybe, against the Aztecs.
Yeah.
So
if you get a high snap, you lose a second.
Exactly.
So you have to take that into consideration as well. So
timeout on the field.
Timeout. Aztecs. First.
All right, first charge timeout.
So Aztecs are going to take their first timeout. All right, so 2nd and 10 for the Griffins. I like that first play call. And honestly, at this point, I don't mind if they want to focus on the passing game.
Yeah.
It's just short to medium. That's what I mean, short to medium.
Yeah, don't try to air it out.
The Aztecs secondary, their closing speed is nothing that you want to gamble with. Nothing deep, short to medium passes.
The ICFL, we have a few referees and few players that are going to be missing this week because they're actually at the BSU spring practice today.
Oh, that is right.
So
shout out to them.
We have Nick Detellis from the Black Tide that is out for that spring practice, and Skylar Tipple, who is a previous player from the ICFL, but is currently a ref. So he's traded teams to the good guys or the bad guys, depending on if you're a player or not.
Pass.
He's got legs. He runs out of bounds.
So I'm fine with this.
Gain of 3.
I'm okay with
down.
the run pass option from the Griffins.
Also, he's got moves.
He does.
So
he's got legs. I want to make sure that this doesn't turn into a RPO that becomes just a run every single time.
Yeah. So who's it? I think it was the Alphas quarterback last year.
Yes.
You would not expect him to throw. He could throw, but he had legs, and he would use it every single time and dip. And he was definitely fast for sure.
He was a true dual threat quarterback.
Yeah.
because he would make it look like he's running, fully committed, and then pass.
Yeah, and then just whoop.
Or you set up to pass, juke one guy, and then he's off. He's running.
Yeah. He was hard to keep track of, that's for sure.
So third down and about 6 or 7 here for the
Minute
Griffins.
35
Back to
left
pass.
Ooh,
Ball
tipped.
tipped up.
Big man with the interception.
Intercepted. All right.
Interception. Aztecs will take over.
I know that this stings for the Griffins. I know that it really does. However, I like the play call. I saw the route. I saw what's going on. And that could have very well been completed if not for the athleticism of the defensive line of the Aztecs. So
just getting their hands up right at the exact moment when they needed to.
More credit to the Aztecs defensive line on that play than criticism for the offense for the Griffins.
Yeah. And it's just like figuring out how to give yourself more time as the Griffins too for your quarterback is very hard. The Aztecs will crash on you. Handoff. Will be brought down. I'll run, and that'll be a gain of 5, and then I'll bring up second down. I think that's 34. 34. Mm-hmm. No way. Is it?
So a little bit of a change-up in the backfield here. We've got Colt Knigge, a quarterback, of course, and then Chris Ackerman, number 34, in the backfield, lining up at running back. Chris Ackerman, a longtime player in the ICFL. First year with the Aztecs.
Motion. Ooh,
Keeper from Knigge.
Quarterback keep. That'll be a game of 4. Bring up third down.
Logistically, I know that I'd be giving the Aztecs too much credit if I said they were doing this on purpose. But I just want to point out that this is 4 out of 4 drives where they're able to get a first down inside at the 5-yard line.
Yeah. And which is like, especially when you have your first yard down is within 5 yards of the goal line.
Yeah.
It is quite impressive. That is the end of the first quarter. By the way, for those of you at home.
So quarter one,
That is
obviously,
the
got
end of
the
first quarter.
Aztecs up 17-0 over the Griffins. Yeah, I mean, it's just so demoralizing when you want to go for a goal line stand, and all they got to do is just get inside the 5, and then they're first and goal from the 4 or less.
But they will exchange sides to the full side of the field, so you get to watch them all just rock all the way down the field here.
Yeah, finally, for the basically the first time in the entire game, we get to see some action from the south side of the field.
Yeah, we've not seen the Griffins past the 50 here. For those of you at home, it is a beautiful day if you'd like to come out. Obviously, we know some of you are far and away or impaired or whatever the case may be. But we appreciate each and every one of you guys that can make it anytime you can. Columbia High School out in Nampa. Try to find that middle ground for everybody. And we've got a bunch of amazing vendors out here today.
So here we go back for the Aztecs offense. Knigge in the backfield. Ackerman behind him. Ball to Ackerman. Ackerman into the end zone. Touchdown, Aztecs.
Aztecs.
So Aztecs now go up 23-0 over the Griffins. I will say, too, that at least the pace of the game, it feels like the Aztecs are taking their time. They're not putting in too much, more energy than they have to.
Switching
kind of running Aztec football. Full set for the PAT.
Yeah, this is the first game where there's been no wind, no rain, no hurricanes. All of that stuff went to the east side of the country, so we're actually clear for once.
Yep.
They had
Clear
like tornadoes
skies,
and whatnot out there.
The
going on
sun,
right
the
now.
sun is out. Beautiful day.
The kick.
Blocked by the Griffins, and that is all she wrote on that.
The extra point is no good.
So, just want to remind everybody listening, if you do come out here, we have some fantastic vendors. Vendors this week, we have Baja Tacos, Scotty's Hot Dogs, Sugar Rush, and A&J's Bean Machine. So we've got 4 vendors located right outside the main gate.
So we got food in multiple different capacities out there right now, where we have like, we have donuts, we got tacos, we got hot dogs, and then we have coffee. And I know each and every one of you cannot live life without coffee.
Got to have some coffee.
Don't even pretend.
So our game lineup today, we've obviously have the Aztecs and the Griffins that is being played right now. The next game coming up, Black Tide and the Matadors, which is our game of the week, followed by the Alphas at the Warhawks. And of course, at our eastern venue over in the Twin Falls area at Lighthouse Christian, we have the Sabres taking on the Diggers.
Yeah, and that game will be live on the Mini Casha Diggers Facebook page. Should be anyway for a live test. And for those of you that are on YouTube, that one will only be on Facebook.
So hold the kickoff here. And just like we said before, fundamentals from the Griffins. Field this ball live. Squib, I'll take it. That is going to give them the best field position they have had the entire game.
Griffins will take over at the 45. Yeah, beautiful. This is what they need right here. Even if they mess up 4 times in a row, they most likely will not get a safety, and that's what counts, considering they've had 2 in the first quarter. It looks like there's a timeout from the reffing crew here.
If the Griffins can get on the other side of the 50, they can get into Aztec territory, we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, if they can get right over that 50. Hey, they saw a play earlier that worked, and it was just a little bit of a location issue for the ball.
Just little yards here or there. We need 3 yards, 3 to 4 yards per play is all you need. That'll get you first down. Close to it anyway. Yeah. Worth going for on 4th down here anyway, because you're at midfield.
I wonder what they're talking about.
A little bit of a discussion from the officiating crew here. We'll keep you guys filled in as soon as we know. Looks like we are all set. Griffins offense on the field. 2 receivers each side. Single back in the backfield.
Ooh. Quarterback keep, but he will be brought down. That'll be a loss of 3. That'll bring up 2nd down. So, I don't know if I like that. So you're getting blitzed on. Even if you're not actually getting blitzed, you're under pressure constantly. And then you're going to design a play where you're going to have the running back and the quarterback stand next to each other. And then either one gets the ball, or if the quarterback keeps it and rolls out. I don't think you have enough time for a play like that.
And the problem here, too, on the tackle, you saw just one arm gets in there and keeps him from running through that hole. The offensive line has to keep the block on that guy.
Yeah.
And
if you know a play is this, you have to design it to where your linemen are keeping, at least shifting or something like that, pushing him away from you.
So we've got spread receiver set, single back in the backfield. Running back shifts over to the left.
Williams out here.
Ooh, a little bit of extracurricular here. We're about to have... that was about as close as you can ever get to having a penalty called and not have a penalty called. Waiting for the call here on offsides or false start.
Saturday snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So false start brings them back even further. We've got about 2nd down and 18.
Yeah, you see him bring the hand up like he's gonna throw a punch and then stops. And that is just on the precipice there.
Guessing that.
Ooh, high, bad snap. Oh, no, there looks like there's a flag on the field.
Wow, false
Flag on the
start
field.
saves their bacon on this
Yeah.
play. That was about to be a disaster.
Start. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So again, second down and 20 plus.
All right, good snap that time. Oh, crashing under the pocket here. Oh, and it looks like he gets
Sniper
picked up.
on the grassy knoll. Unfortunate.
That'll be a loss of 3, and that'll bring up third down.
I don't know how many yards he would have gotten on that play, but it would have been more than that.
Yeah. The grass knot caught his leg on the turf field here.
So still third down and 20 plus. But just like we were saying before, at least if you have to punt, you're not punting out of your own end zone.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Snap. And the
Hey.
quarterback has some room.
Throws on the throw, on the run there.
You know, I like the decision to pass there. I just wish it was just a little bit more accurate.
Yeah.
So fourth down and forever.
I like that he got out of it, whereas last time he did not. So, but obviously the running throw to out of bounds to miss your person there is not what you need. And that would have got him just to, you know, the 10-yard of their first down, of their down markers. Wouldn't have even gotten him a first down, so.
So Aztecs trying to get the right personnel on the field here. Griffins to punt. They've got plenty of space. No need to rush here. Keep your fingers crossed for a good snap, good kick.
9 minutes left in the second quarter here.
If they do this right, they can keep the Aztecs in their own territory and have a little bit of a fighting chance on defense here. Kick is up. Can it make it past the 50? It will. Out to about the 48-yard line. So
Aztecs will take over at the 48.
Aztecs will start in
The
their own
Griffins finally got the
territory.
ball over the 50.
Yeah.
Just happened to be with a punt. But we just haven't seen forward progress from them yet.
Now, at least we've seen a little bit. The good thing is, well, I was almost going to say there were fewer penalties, but
Yeah. But
still saw some penalties.
ball starts.
False starts. In fact,
Some fighting. That
one
was
false
almost a
start
penalty.
that actually,
Saved them.
yeah. But you can't really say that often.
Yeah. Snap.
Kniggy back to pass. He's looking to the
Deep.
left-hand side. He has Hull.
Oh,
Hull almost another one-handed catch, but incomplete.
incomplete pass. That'll bring up second down.
So second down and 10 for the Aztecs. I think we should start seeing a little bit more pass, especially in this kind of scenario. Colt's getting a little bit more comfortable in the pocket. Not that he needs any more comfort.
Tiffany says, wish they would announce who the sniper was. Well, that's the whole point of being a sniper.
So they wish they would announce who the sniper was.
Yeah, we
I
don't
said-
know who the
I-
sniper
yeah,
was. It's the grass. Yeah.
Sniper on the grassy knoll. He's
Yeah.
a ninja. I don't know where he is.
Yeah. There's nobody there to get him. That's what's crazy about it. Hull, all right, we saw him do the one-hand catch the first week, but If he can, get both hands on it. Give it
Yeah,
as great as
if you can
go
get
out
both
level.
hands on the ball, it's a catch. If he gets one hand on the ball, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Barber with the run up the middle. Just shy of a first down.
And
So
gain of 9, that'll bring up second down.
we've got third down and about 1. I imagine here that the Aztecs will probably just run the ball, get a fresh set of downs, and then we might see some more passing attempts.
Send Barber up the middle. So, because we've seen the Aztecs have this game, and then the last game they had was against the Guardians, right? Or the yeah, didn't they play the Guardians last week?
No, I think the Aztecs played the Warhawks.
Oh, Warhawks last week. That's right. And so they've definitely had a lot of time to try any kind of play that they want to do, any type of formation.
Mhm.
I wanted to see him just throw bombs. Ooh, stays up after a little bit of dancing. He'll get the first down. So
Enough for the first down.
he'll be gaining a 7, and that will give him a first down after a little bit of scrambling there. Seven minutes, 25 seconds left here in the second quarter. Griffins trying to get their defense set, trying to get somebody off the field here.
Niggy with the hard count. Gets the snap. Pass out to
Action.
hole.
To the outside.
Hole out to about the 22-yard line. And I believe, yes, we do have a first down.
That'll be gaining a 10. That'll give him a first down. Well, and you see, so you're seeing something where they're getting, like the tackle on home is not actually a tackle. He's just going for the hit and hoping that he goes down. Where in that situation, you really need to like wrap him up.
Yeah.
Because he can just stay up and keep going.
Well, and Hole's a big guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's 6 foot plus, and he's got some size, great hands, good routes, and he's a good runner.
Yeah.
So
But you just have to see those wrap ups, those little things, especially when you're going against somebody like Hole or Barber. You just need to wrap them up and keep them stopped to make sure they stay down. So, ooh, a little bit of Butterfingers there. Recovers well by the
Niggy has
quarterback.
plenty of time.
Throws it deep, airs it out to the left side. Incomplete. Incomplete pass. That'll bring up second down.
You know, the interesting thing about that situation, the most high risk of anything during that kind of play is a lineman illegally downfield. Because Colt is back there for 5 to 7 seconds
Forever.
without any kind of pressure. So credit to his offensive line. Just make sure that you don't go downfield.
Well, we saw, what was it? I think it was week 2 where there was a throw to a lineman.
Yes.
And then it was immediately stripped from him.
Yep.
And then brought back for pick 6. So,
Yeah, that penalty didn't need to be enforced.
yeah. It's just like crazy. All over the board.
Jet
And-
sweep left. Back up to the middle of the field. He's got room. Can he make it all
Stays
the way
up.
there to the 5-yard line?
Began at 25, and that'll give him a first down. See, and that's what I'm talking about. You see him not get wrapped up, and you see him get hit, which you need to wrap up and keep him.
Well, and I don't know.
Number
Okay,
7 there.
so that's number 7, Donald White. If you can't tell from the live broadcast, his legs, his thighs are the size of tree trunks.
Yeah.
So where you have Barber, who's a little bit on the smaller, not even on the smaller side, smaller than Donald White.
Yeah.
He is very nimble, very quick, very agile.
That's why you see him doing a lot of sidestepping
Yep.
and dancing, because
Donald
he can
is
get out of
north-south.
that.
Yeah, Donald will put you down, run straight up the middle of the field, and run over you.
Yeah, the ICFL has a lot of giant dudes.
Yeah, I don't know the stats, the height and weight on Donald White, but he is a very high percentage muscle.
Ooh, fumble.
So this is where those mental mistakes are going to cost the Aztecs.
The Griffins will take over.
This doesn't happen often, but we've got straight downfield from Donald White. The mesh point between him and Cole Knigge, just not all the way there. Puts the ball on the turf. Both of them are looking at it. Who's going to pick it up? Griffins get it.
Yeah, and Jonah Hearn on that fumble recovery there. Good eyes by him. Just keeping the heads up, keeping awareness. And it'll give the Griffins back the ball. And that is the first time where the Aztecs have gotten the ball and they have not gone down and scored or safety.
Except for that or the interception by Knigge. And if you think about it, that's just 2 mistakes. It's 1 interception by Knigge, and then it's just a fumble, and we'll either Knigge or White. And they're lucky, they're fortunate that this is the game against the Griffins, where their defense is probably going to bail them out, not a problem. If they make those kinds of mistakes against the Tide, the Matadors, the Sabres, the Alphas.
Yeah, those could be costly mistakes. So.
Most definitely.
Especially, like, and if the Griffins would have just seen that just a little bit, like, closer in time, he could have possibly had a lot of room to take that back. So. Yeah, or if they're blitzing that play and that happens or something.
Yeah, scoop and score, that would be wild. Griffins back to pass.
Taking off again.
Get out of that pocket. He's got some room.
He stays up. Quarterback scramble in a gain of 8, and they'll bring him second down. So you see him scramble, but also you see the Aztecs do the exact same thing that we just talked about that the Griffins aren't doing, where they're hitting instead of wrapping up.
Yes. Yeah, you can't just put a shoulder into the guy.
So you see him take the first hit and then keep going, which is like you need to get, you need to wrap up and get him down.
Well, and you look at some of the builds of some of these players. Big legs, big trunk, low center of gravity. That's not the kind of guy that you can shoulder tackle. That's the kind of guy that you got to take out those legs, because those legs will continue to move.
Yeah. Hit him in the top end, and he just keeps rolling. So good. Big ups for the Griffins here. Drop him back. Under pressure again. Throwing to the right. Throws. Number 2. Incomplete.
Good play call. Good escape out of the pocket. Number 2's in the right place.
Yeah,
couldn't connect.
He, if the ball was there, he probably would have had it. So he got the fumble recovery earlier, and he could have, got that. But when you're on the run and you're throwing and you don't have your feet set, it's a little bit harder. And especially in this league, we see it's like a lot of that on the run throw that doesn't really connect. And you see the cross body throwing that they do all the time that never connects either.
Please don't.
So
here's what I'm hoping here. And again, we've said this before. Please, we're going to pass right here. It's got to be quick, got to be short to medium. You're going to run, pick whatever your bread and butter is. Well, all you need is a couple of yards for a first down.
You keep getting crashed onto. Maybe something like a motion jet sweep or something like that, where he goes around, he has a little bit of extra time to get around you. Trying to get that hard count. I like it.
Oh, I think we might have got it. We did. They did get the hard count.
Screaming at my players right here.
Wow. So, another mental mistake from the Aztecs here. That's going to give the Griffins their first down of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right here. We'll see. This case.
Prior to the snap, encouragement by the defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So far, the Griffins have been able to capitalize on the mistakes from the Aztecs.
Yeah. Hey, but if nothing else is working for you, capitalizing on other people's mistakes can only do you wonders. So, Griffins with a first down. Oh, high snap.
And that's not what we like to see.
Kicked. And
let's see who comes up with it here.
What is the call here? The call, it looks like it's touchdown.
So let's see. We have one signal from the official. We have a discussion going on right now with the white hat. If this is recovered by the Aztecs, it is a touchdown.
It's a touchdown. Touchdown, Aztecs.
So the defense most definitely bailed them out of that one.
Yeah.
But
So
let's
you
be
see
clear,
the
it was a
defense make a
mistake on the
mistake
Griffins.
and then go back and do something so right there off of just capitalizing on the Griffins' mistakes. So it goes both ways down this street here, where if you make mistakes, it's a big deal. But if the other team's making mistakes, it's an even bigger deal when it comes to something like this. Yeah, they did 35 earlier, but
So new kicker on the field.
yeah.
Here comes the snap, the hold, the kick. It is
Was that tipped in?
good. Kick is good.
Pretty sure that was tipped in, but the extra point is good.
So Aztecs now 30 over the Griffins. 3 minutes, 38 seconds left to go in the first half.
Three minutes, 38 seconds left in the second quarter. And the Griffins, a short punt, and they recover well. It will be brought down by Griffith Jelenskog.
All right, so out to the 30-yard line for the Griffins. Decent field position.
All right, they're just trying to make formation changes here. They're just swipping and swapping and swapping and swooping, trying to figure out their lineup here. Also, I will say that last touchdown, that was the fumble touchdown. You know, looked a little more like actual soccer than football. So.
Yes. That's the second one that we've had where it's been kicked into the end zone.
Yeah.
No illegal kicking penalties.
Yeah. What is going on? So they're trying to
Griffins, empty set, 5 receivers in the snap.
To the outside, low. Incomplete pass that'll bring up second down. Yeah, low pass there. So, but I do like the quick timing on it. So gets it, throws it, gets rid of it. So, because also as a quarterback, you are getting hit all the time. That does not feel good. Oh, yeah. Put that in there. Oh, bad snap. That'll be a loss of 5 yards. I'll bring it 3rd down.
Run the clock.
Incomplete pass. That'll bring it 4th down. Between the offense and the defense here, they both just keep switching up their people. I don't know if they know what's going on.
Yeah, a lot of personnel changes here. We got 4th down and long. The Griffins. We might have a timeout called here. And timeout it is.
This will be the first time out for the Griffins.
Now, Griffins. First start.
All right. Run back, throwing over to the right here. So we actually have... Is that a flag that I just saw? So we actually have a new quarterback that we saw out there, and that was Griffith Gilinskog. I don't know how to say his last name. I understand my last name is atrocious too, so we got Griffith G out there. But an incomplete pass, it will switch sides. The Tex will take over. All right. Tex to snap, handoff. The jet sweep here will run to the outside. And that'll be a gain of 10 yards, and I'll give him a first down. All right, 2 minutes, 24 seconds left in the second quarter here. We will have a 2-minute warning here.
The 2-minute time.
A 2-minute warning here in the second quarter, 30-0. Aztecs marching down the field on first down. We're going to see what they can accomplish before the second half. They received the ball in the second half, so. All right, takes a snap. Ooh, under pressure. Wrap up and he hands it off here. And he's dancing and he's got room and he'll be brought out of bounds and I'll give him a first down. A lot of scrambling there. That'll be good for 14 yards and that'll give him a first down. Yeah, so you see the quarterback barely hand it off right before he gets sacked, so. And it was a run out of bounds, so it will be stopped here, so. So Barber just takes it out. All right, snap, throw, one-handed hole, touchdown. Touchdown, Aztecs. Beautiful one-handed catch for that touchdown, but. All right, with the kick for the Aztecs here. Griffins recover. Previous quarterback right there recovering. Run to the outside. Griffins will take over around the 37. That was Austin Williams, their previous quarterback, who is doubled as a running back. That just took that one, so. Minute 34 left here in the second quarter before we go to halftime. All right, the snap, throws, incomplete. Incomplete pass. They'll bring him second down. So they have a new quarterback out there, Griffith G, who is labeled here as their safety. Just a little far and almost an interception there. So he's just gotta figure it out. He's a little bit better aim. I know he doesn't have a lot of time, so when you're, especially when you're under the pressure like that, but just little improvements here and there. All right, snap. Incomplete pass. They'll bring up third down. Third down. Griffins lining up in twins here. Minute 27. All right, takes the snap, drops back, throws over the middle. Ooh. Incomplete pass. There's a flag on the field. Yeah, that is close. I don't think the call that they're making on that, though, is necessarily a PI. So, no. But he touched the ball, and then I think it was right on it. But I think it might have actually been helmet to helmet. So that's why I think they're calling. Yeah, yeah. So even if necessarily he's not doing it on purpose, so we're gonna have to see what they say. Obviously, they're in charge. So
The one thing that's different from high school rules that our league doesn't have is in high school you have to wrap up and make a tackling attempt on the receiver. We don't have that rule yet.
yeah, it's
But this is the type of thing that these officials that also do high school might see and instinctively want to throw a flag on because it looks like it deserves a flag. But does the rule actually support that?
yeah. So we're gonna see right here.
We might have
Personal foul by the defense. Defenseless player hit. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
What? So what was that called?
so yeah, so
Okay.
we have a it's unnecessary roughness. It's a hit on a defenseless player. They're not necessarily saying whether it's helmet to helmet contact or legal helmet contact. They're just saying that player's defenseless. The defender had an opportunity to not punish that player. And there we go.
I don't that. I feel like that's kind of a tough call to make. It's
It is.
not because it's a more it's like in the middle of it, like right here. That's why you saw them going and talking with each other, because I'm sure not just there was two flags that we saw, so there wasn't just one ref that saw it. So they're trying to determine what the actual name or like what it's actually going to be called. All right, he's taking the snap, scrambling here off to the right side, and he will be brought down. And I'm pretty sure that stays in bounds, so that'll be a loss of 6 yards. I'll bring up second down. The clock will keep rolling here. Minute on the clock.
Both teams with 2 timeouts. We'll see if either of them decide to use them. I imagine that if the Griffins can get into Aztec territory, they might.
Yeah, I do not see them. I don't know. This is definitely. They've been making yards. They've been having little plays here and there, but I do not see them doing any timeouts for this half.
No, I mean, it'd be nice if they were in a position where they could, or it would be beneficial.
Yeah. I think at this point they're just whatever is working is working.
Yeah.
And maybe they can take the halftime to
Well,
talk
they don't want to
about
leave
what's
any
worked.
time on the board for the Aztecs to get the ball back
Yeah.
either. So
It's a possibility, always.
they're definitely taking their time in the pocket.
Quarterback
Gonna go
scramble.
down.
It'll be a gain of nothing.
And it looks like neither team is going to stop the clock. Into halftime we go.
That is the end of the first half. All right, let's run some sponsors.
Aztecs football is presented by Pursuit Restoration.
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Fire and mold company,
we're at halftime.
providing an industry-leading 2-year work
We will see you guys soon.
happiness today. Find them at pursuit-restoration.com. Griffins football is presented by Woodworking Solutions, Inc., Johnny Abugine, Boise Co-op Market, and Sawtooth Athletics. The Idaho Contact Football League is presented by Dolinar Digital, a local digital and traditional marketing firm focused on the small business, and Treasure Valley Sports League, the best recreational adult sports league in the valley.
All right. Just running it all the way down the field. He stays up. Nobody can stop him. Is there a flag on the field somewhere? Aztecs at the 25. Like there may be a flag on the field. I think there's one in the. No, on the ground. Let's take a look and see what he says.
During your return, that sideline interference by the kicking team can be a half the distance to the goal. Yeah.
Half the distance to the goal there for sideline interference from the team that's kicking. So this is going to put the Aztecs in even better territory than they were before. All right, throw to the outside here by the Aztecs. Touchdown, Aztecs. Lost. All right, so we are going to have a rolling clock for this second half here. So that was a great play here. Great outside pass here, so but we're gonna have a rolling clock, so these quarters are gonna go by a little bit quicker here. So, and that was by number 18, Kai Kovic. Oh, whoa, whoa! What's going on? All right, handoff, trying to get these extra points here, and the extra points will be good. Extra points will be good. What was that? Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there. He barely touches it. It bounces through him. He grabs it. Griffins will take over at the 23. Griffin's taking a year to make a play. Takes a snap. Throws over the middle. Interception. He's got room. He's only got one defender. Pick six. Aztecs. So the Griffins just get one play together and then immediately get a pick six. Throws it straight to him. They run it all the way in, so the Griffins have got to get it together here. All right, let's see if this kick is good. It's not. Kick is no good. Come grab another one. All right, so it hits him in the shin. They go to recover, and they just drop down right where it's at. Griffins will take over at the 24. Griffin's getting an extra person off the field here. Clock has stopped. Let's see what it's for. Might be a...
Timeout. Aztecs. First turn timeout of the half.
Yeah, it looks like there's timeout on the Aztecs. Where's the sound of a computer, but notifications. Britain, I don't think players will make a difference. All right, drop back. Throws it over the right side here. Number 3. I think it's completed there. Pass the outside. That'll be good for a gain of 13. That'll give them a first down. Big play by the Griffins here, actually. So bringing back in their old quarterback here, Mr. Austin Williams. Absolute dot. The outside there. Clock is rolling, 5:44. Like I said before, we do have a rolling clock. The only time it will stop is after the PATs for timeouts, for flags, and yeah, pretty much it. So doesn't stop a whole ton here, so it'll just keep rolling and rolling and rolling. The snap, drops back, taking off to the right here, throws it deep. Incomplete pass. That'll bring up second down. Intended receiver was Griffith G there, but wasn't quite down the field, and it was out of bounds. So there's flags. On the flag. Let's see what they have to say.
Two penalties on the play. First one, holding offense number 60. After the play was over, personal foul number 60. Both penalties will be enforced.
There's another flag. Looks like some chirping. He was probably talking shit on the refs here. So.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 72 of the offense. He has to get to the goal. Second down.
Number 72 on the offense, Matt Smart there.
Correction, that's first down.
Okay, so now they are 1st and 40. Oh, okay. There's a timeout here. Timeout on the Griffins.
Timeout. Griffins.
All right, so the Griffins are just beating themselves up in penalties here. In order to get first down, they need to get to the 49-yard line. They are currently on looks like the 7-yard line. So they need 41 yards here. 42 yards? Yeah, 42 yards, so. First and 42. Here he drops back, throws, will be completed. That'll be a gain of 3, and that'll bring up second down. Thank you. Oh. So that'll be a gain of 3 yards, and that'll put them 2nd and 39. I think they're going to have to throw it deep here to dig themselves out of this situation. Takes a snap. Drops back. Throws over the right side here. Incomplete. Incomplete pass. That'll bring up third down. Four minutes left in this third quarter here. So we are now 3rd and 39. All right. Quarterback drum back, scrambling off to the right side, throws over the body. That'll be intercepted. Interception. The Aztecs will take over. That was an interception by Tyson Hoffman of the Aztecs there. Two minutes, 22 seconds left in this third quarter with the rolling clock. Takes a snap, handoff to Barber. On good for a gain of 20, and that'll give him a first down. Looks like we will have a timeout for a player injury. All right. Clock is rolling. Looks like he got off the field. He's walking off. They're sitting him down on the bench. So hopefully he is all right there. But all right. Quarterback drops back. Under pressure, scrambling. Throws it. Across the body. Interception. Interception, and the Griffins will take over. That should put them at the 20 here. right, 23 seconds left in this third quarter here. Got about enough time for one play here. Griffins 1st and 10. Actually worked out pretty good for them. They got a fresh set of downs, and they're only 1st and 10 instead of 1st and 39. So taking the snap, from back, throws over to the left side here, to the inside here to number 3. That'll be brought down. That'll be the end of the third quarter.
Beginning of the third quarter.
A throw to Keegan Vincent to the outside here. And we will switch sides.
Starting to get a breeze. Crosswind.
Once again, for those of you that are at home that would love to come out and see us, we are at Columbia High School out in Nampa. We have multiple food truck vendors, drink vendors, whatever you could want out here. Next game is going to be the game of the week, and that is going to be the Matadors and the Black Tide. As they switch sides here. All right, drops back, taking the snap, under pressure, throws over the middle. Incomplete pass, that'll bring up 3rd down. Ooh, he's under pressure. He scrambles off to the right side. It looks like he's going to keep it. And he will be stopped, and he will be brought back. That'll be a gain of 3 after a quarterback scramble, and that'll bring him 4th down. Yep. Yep, looks like an injury. Hey, it looks like he's getting up pretty quick. That is their quarterback. So, not great. Yeah, that is Austin Williams, their quarterback there, but they're getting off the field. So it looks like they will switch back to, I think it's going to be Griffith G is going to be back in the pocket there. Ten minutes left in this 4th quarter with the rolling clock. It looks like they're trying to get lined up. trips the outside. All right, snap. Kicks off up the middle. Beginning of 2, but they will switch sides and the Aztecs will take over. Didn't try to kick it, tried to go for it. Didn't work out, so. Nine minutes on the clock. All right, handoff. We'll go down the middle, handoff to Ackerman. There's a flag on the field. I'm gonna take a look and see what this flag is for.
Illegal substitution by defense. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down.
You remember when we used to like tacos? All right, handoff down the middle to Ackerman, and he will be stopped. It'll be a gain of 8, and that'll bring up second down. So 7 minutes 30 seconds here. Aztecs trying to get down the field to score. All right. Ooh, looks like it'll be just short there, so be a gain of 1, and then I'll break up third down. I'll run up the middle, didn't go nowhere. All right, quarterback keep from Hull. Touchdown, Aztecs. Nice catch there. Gonna push this guy into traffic so he can stay up, but it looks like he will be brought down. So Griffins will take over around the 35. Now, like we talked about earlier, this clock is rolling. So time slowly coming to an end here. Fourth quarter, 4 minutes left. All right here. Griffins take the snap, low snap, recovers well, throws over to number 3, catches it. He's got some room, he takes off. That'll be getting a 12, and that'll get him a first down after the throw. Number 3 there, Keegan Vincent for the Griffins. Making slow but steady progress, 2 minutes, 41 seconds here. Let's see if they can get on the board. Keep making little plays like that. They would have to make little plays like that just a little bit faster, though. So we are going to hit the 2-minute warning eventually, but. Griffins take the snap. Low snap again. Quarterback rolls out to the left side here. He throws it. Airs it out of bounds. Incomplete pass. That'll bring him second down. So we will be stopped here at the 2-minute warning.
The 2-minute time.
All right, for those of you at home, there's 29 seconds on the clock. This kick is going to be it. After this kick, the game will be ended. So they could do a timeout, but covered by the Griffins, goes up the middle. Griffins will take over at the 40. So unless they call a timeout, they will not get a chance. All right. That is the end of the game. All right, for those of you at home, thank you for joining us during that game. We'll see you soon for the next game. It'll start in about 15 minutes.